Have you ever wanted to draw a character's face in a cool angle, but after you finished, it was super difficult and looked like a potato? I did that for a really long time, but I learned some useful things that helped me draw faces in any angle I wanted. So let me share these important things with you today. The first thing to make drawing faces in perspective much easier is to simplify them into basic forms. And here one thing is super important for that, which is wrapping line. And now what are wrapping lines? For example, let's just draw a basic cylinder here, like that. Now, wrapping lines are basically the lines that wrap around the form of the object, like that. And pretty much they create a cross section of this, boom. So from the other side, it would look something like this. Same for here, boom. Obviously the perspective isn't the best here. But here one thing is that if we have a horizon line, boom, and the object is above the horizon line, like here, we see that the wrapping lines are actually pointing in the upwards direction. Now, if we have another cylinder, boom, that is below the horizon, like that, we see that these wrapping lines will point down, boom, like that. And now if we have a perfect like cylinder in the middle on the horizon, I don't know, like maybe it still would be something like this, but now this cross section, this wrapping line here would be perfectly with the horizon. Boom. Now this lets us pretty much just break the object into forms, like see here. Then what I obviously have are this here and then like that. So this is super simple. So yeah, we can break this here and we see the bottom of the wrapping line form here. Now we can do the same for the faces. For example, the face is a little bit curved, like there's a slight curve to it, maybe not that, but we can see that there is a curve here, like that. So this might be a wrapping line, like that. Same for the neck. This would be actually more in the straight, something like this perhaps, boom. And then obviously behind that we would have maybe even something smaller like this, but obviously something like look like a cylinder. Same here, we can see this choker here, maybe better color for that, boom. This goes around the form, obviously it would also be here, boom, like that. And then even here, basically it creates a cylinder. Same for the head here, boom, the face, slight curve, the lips, boom, the chin, boom. These are wrapping lines which are super important when you want to draw pretty much anything. So again, on the face, for example, this, boom, we have one wrapping line, boom, boom. And these are also very useful when you want to draw a character. For example, if you want to do a foreshortening, you can use these wrapping lines that go at you and create like a hand that maybe goes at you, boom, 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 boom. So these are super useful. For example, even on the arm here, boom, we can do this. So this would point up, therefore this is above the horizon line. So yeah, pretty much this is really good for just checking the perspective of the character. Like the wrapping line wouldn't really be like that. This is the opposite angle, boom. Maybe on the neck here actually would be, but on the forehead it would be pointing up, same here, boom. And this is actually useful. For example, here we can see that this curvature of the eye points up, same with nose, boom, points up, same with lips, point up. Then from different angle the lips would point down, as you can see here, boom. But now why we want to simplify the face into super simple objects, again, forms? Because it's much easier to draw a simple form like that, boom, in a perspective than it is to draw a full head, boom. So we have an oval and a simple jaw. Here obviously it's a crooked. Instead of just trying to draw the jaw, maybe like that, boom, boom, then the top of the head, boom, then the eyes would be somewhere here, maybe, boom. No, it's just start super simple with basic shapes, boom, 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 boom. Then eyeline, eyebrow line, maybe a nose a little bit higher, nose pointing here, eyes, obviously this is super quick and messy, or Ronaldo. Eyebrows, boom, boom, then mouth, boom. It's super simple basics. Then neck, like that, boom, boom. And we have a simple face. But also facial features, it's much easier to draw them using simple shapes. When we want to draw them in perspective, you see this more straight, and then this curve like that, boom. And then we have our eyelashes and a thicker upper one, boom. Then eyebrows here, and maybe nose here, boom. But yeah, it's much easier to draw objects when we first simplify them. So yeah, but now if you want to actually learn how to draw a face from a basic potato to a fully rendered one, you can check out my classes in the description below. That will help you with that. So yeah, but now let's go to the next things that we want to pay attention to when it comes to drawing faces in perspective that can actually help us a lot with showing the perspective, which are the changes in proportions. So we can use these 3D models here. So for example, in a perfect straight view from front view, we see that the face can be divided into thirds. So 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. These would have the same size on a perfect generic face. But now in perspective, we can quickly observe that these thirds will actually have different lengths. For example, from below view, boom, boom, like that. From a view from below, we can already tell that the bottom third is the biggest, then the upper one, the forehead, is the smallest. Then in the middle, we have a medium size from these. Opposite to that, we have the thirds in the face looking down, boom, from pretty much just above view, like that, boom, like that, above view. Then we have forehead somewhere here. So we have big forehead from above because it's closer to us, then medium, then middle of the face, and then smaller mouth. And these tips can actually help you a lot avoiding your face looking not really in perspective. So here I wanted to do an angle from below, but I failed miserably. So let me explain further. So for example, we can see that these thirds here have the same length and the forehead had also same length. This was 1/3, 1/3, 1/3, which from a view from below, that wouldn't be the case. This here would be, obviously this would be the biggest, then medium and the smallest. Also, other thing that we can tell from the angle is the eyeline. This is also super important. My eyeline in my drawings, everyone has their own art style and stuff. But yeah, for me, a good rule is to keep the eyeline in the middle of the face. This reference has it a little bit higher, I think. Yeah, but for me, I just like to keep them in the middle of the face. Now, what will happen if we tilt the head a little bit back or we look from below? The eyeline will be higher than the middle of the face. So here would be the middle and the eyeline is actually higher than that. Vice versa, from above angle, we can see that here we have the middle of the head from top to the chin, and then the eyeline is actually much lower than that. And I should have done the same thing. So there would be probably the top of the head, and we see that the eyes are actually in the middle. If I move them a little bit higher, change the thirds, it would look much better. But also other thing, there is a third one here, is something that I actually did, is the ears. So we can see that from, again, let's now hide these. Again, from a front view, the ears would be at around the upper eyelid level, the top of the top of the ear, and the bottom of the ear would be at around the level of the bottom of the nose. So when looking from above, from below, we can see now that the ears are below the eyeline. Okay, and it's super useful to look at the reference, because then we could tell that, okay, we can place the top of the ear actually at the level of the nose, of the bottom of the nose. Obviously it's not perfectly, but we can just make these stylistic choices for us. Then this here, we could probably make it a little bit below the bottom of the lip, which would naturally will be on the bottom of the nose. Now, other thing, when drawing from the above angle, we see that the ears are above the eye level. And here they take a shape like that, boom, they fan out, creating this aerodynamic, I guess, shape, boom. And here, obviously, this is below the eye line here. So here the ears are actually placed below the eyeline, and I made them super small for some reason. But yeah, pay attention to the thirds of the face. In different angles they will have different proportions, and also the eyeline. Is it perfectly in the middle? Is it above the middle of the head, below that? and also where are the ears placed. This will help you a lot with portraying perspective that you want. Angle. Here we have, boom, big middle, big bottom, then middle, medium, and then smaller forehead. The eyeline, we can see that there is like top of the head here, boom. The eyeline is above that, above the middle of the head, and also ears are below the eyeline. 3 simple things. Now let's go to the facial features. So first we have eyes, and let's break them quickly to the eye shape and eyelashes. First start with the eye shape. So pretty much from a normal view we have our normal almond shape of the eyes, depending on the character and your art style. But then from the below angle, we'll see that pretty much the bottom eyeline, the bottom eyelid will become straight and the upper one will become more curved. Boom. Same, for example, here we have the straight bottom and then the curved top. Even here, mostly straight and curved top. Same here, boom. Now, when it comes to drawing eyes from above angle, we see that now bottom is more curved and the top is more straight. This is like a pretty good shapes to keep in mind. Also here we see that the shape is not really, I guess, made. Probably mostly even top is more straight than bottom, therefore it just looks weird. But yeah, now for eyelashes, let's use this here. The eyelashes, we want to pay attention that they actually fan out. So they would be like that and like that. Boom. Obviously there will be more of them, but basically the closer there are to the corners, the more curved toward them there will be. So pretty much it's like a compass. Boom. There's a point and then we have these eyelashes going in these directions here. Even here. Boom, 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 boom. Even with the bottom ones. Boom. Also a good rule, a good thing to keep in mind is that the eyelashes are curved a little bit and also they are tapered. So ends are thinner and bottoms are thicker. When it comes to drawing a nose, we from a bottom view, from a view from below, we'll see more of the bottom of the nose, of course. Here, same. Here you see that we can see a lot of bottom of the nose, but the perspective just feels wrong still. It would be probably better if the nose would be just normal one. Boom. Same here, more bottom, and as we can tell on the 3D model, we also see a lot of the bottom of the nose. Now, from above angle, we won't see anything from below of the nose. And also, we can observe the tip of the nose, which from a view from below will be much closer to the eyeline, sometimes even touch. So as you can see here, I could just push it a little bit higher and it would look much better. Even here we have closer, boom. Here it actually almost touches, but yeah, here we can see it's closer. Now from a view from above, we can see that the tip of the nose is much closer to the mouth than it is to the eyes. It gets actually further. So yeah, pay attention to that. And then another thing is the area under our chin. So this one here, which can be simplified to this shape, something like this, boom. Actually this like that, boom, boom, this like that, boom. And then we have the area here, which will be visible when we draw a face from the below angle. And now from above, we won't see any of that. Here we can see a little bit of the bottom of the chin. And here we also won't. And even here there is a little bit of that. Boom. But now, as I said before, a really good tool to help you with that is just using 3D models or a lot of reference photos with different angles. But I like using 3D models because you can rotate them however you want. So that's pretty useful thing to have. So again, if you're interested in learning how to actually draw a face from a basic potato to a fully rendered one, you can check out my classes, link in the description below. Thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.